Sharing on feldenkrais from Lavinia Plonck. This is like how we retrain our nervous system and we receive the information and integrate it. So we move according to how we perceive our self-image. And when we have injuries or curtailed movement, it's responded to in our own unique way. This is called adversity and resilience. It could be self-pity, overcoming obstacles, confidence, etc. And our physiology is our comfort of ourself and our skeleton or our body. And emotional habituation can show up to people and cause patterned interactions, like they're receiving like a dynamic. Emotional habituation, like how we physically hold ourselves. So bidirectional, whether it's the perception or the mental emotional chemistry muscles, goes one way or the other. We become aware of our habits that were useful once, the parasitic habits, but now impair us from living the life we want. We can create functional habits that serve us how we want to be in the world, and our eyes, which connect to the vestibular system, which is our balance, sense of space, the head and the neck to coordinating with the brain, with the actual brain, diaphragmatic breathing, exhale slow and pause, and another exhale like this. Frozen muscles can create stuck patterns, so this is how to like bring a little space. When we sip, our hip flexors connect to the back muscles, so we also could be aware of our psoas, which is the hip flexor that helps us stay or go. It's the fight or flight, and we can be aware and attend to movements so we don't overstrain or injure through overcompensating. Movements that are subtle can actually help the stillness, like little subtle movements can help us be still. We can do things like the hand drooping, melting, and then lifting up inside, then front way, right? And the hand in front of the wrist melts, and the shoulder pulls it back. So you could do like this, and then something where you're on your knees and you hug yourself. I'll practice for a second. And you bend left and right, and then down. So it's the spine, the ribs, and the opposition. I don't know if you could see me. I'm going to try like this. Oh, gosh. All right, let me try if you could still see me. So now I'm on my knees. Hug yourself, and then you move to the left, to the right, and then down. And again, I'll change the grip to the right, to the left, and then down. And see what feels good. I felt a great release from that, so I enjoyed it. And the brain tells the nervous system to let go. It understands its sensation. So now we heard the word flexor from hip flexor, but we have extensor and flexor. Flexor makes it tight, extensor makes it long. And these are antagonist, agonist. It helps the body do what it's trying to do. One is getting longer, one is getting shorter. Because the system's all connected, nothing actually happens in isolation. And a respect for life experience, the wisdom of what our body's doing for us, is a reminder that the nervous system is actually trying to keep us safe. We have to bring freedom and taboo to balance. So things that are off limits and things that are okay, like to move. Physical rattles identity. We need to be slow and mobile when we're building. So for like very quick, it's like tells us something about us. Our actions tell us who we are. We can feel more options in the movement when we're slow. We can start to get it from different places rather than rush. It always goes to the same places. Like a centered self, we could actually imagine is like a balanced pelvis. And when we intentionally hold ourselves back and then do it, it's freedom. Like let's say I want to move my head, I'm going to wait. And now I'm going to move my head consciously. We come and start from who we are, so our base self. We then build patterns for flexibility and longevity, like how long and how flexibly we can move. So some of the exercises to summarize is like, first we could exhale, right? And then pause at the end. Oh, sorry, we do one more slow exhale. And then pause. For our psoas, we can slowly lift our leg to our hip. Well, first let's do the wrist, then we'll do the psoas. So the wrists, we can melt them, we can rise them, drifting up, melt. You could even do it with a propped elbow, right? And we melt and then lifting up, melt. Our shoulder, we can let the wrists hang straight. And from the shoulder, we can imagine lifting up. For the ribs and spine, we did hugging around while we're kneeling and then twisting and hunching. For relaxing inside of the mouth of the jaw, just imagine. There's no gripping. We can interlace the fingers, like let's say you always go one way, interlace them in the other way for a moment. We're gonna do one standing. We're gonna lift the leg to the knee, to the hip. Like the knee is gonna come up. And then the other one. One more each side. And something for our eyes. We can imagine like we make a laser with our fingers. And then it's like we're moving a pearl, right? So we look through, like, I guess really you're supposed to make a little space. We'll try one more time. Look through the space between your fingers. And one more on this side. The sit bones, hip shift to the heavier. So let ourselves sit back a little heavy on our sit bones, then sit forward. And notice the trunk organizes on top of it. Felt great. So Moshe feldenkrais is based off of, says there's nothing permanent in our behavior patterns except the belief that they are so. And I'll stop here for today and wish you blessings. Today is Chai El, the birthday of both the Alter Rebbe, the Baal Shem Tov, who brought Hasidus, which is refined Kabbalah, mystical teaching that anyone can access, and then the Alter Rebbe, his student, it's like he called him his spiritual grandfather, the Baal Shem Tov. So the Alter Rebbe came after him, he brought in Chabad Hasidus, which is like wisdom, knowledge, understanding level of like the mind, mindfulness, mentality, and also like really how to live in the world second by second, moment by moment.